discussing global challenges.
Is becoming too serious. I think our
We as Europeans, what should the international community, the High Commissioner for Human Rights, Mrs. Bachelet,
Good afternoon, ladies and only do this together. When we talk, we saw this on the health issue. There is no way individual. There, how are you? Good to see you. All right, everybody.
Democratic European country with democratic values. To rebuild Soviet Empire, so if the worst case will be.
That can take action on what we need to do.
Barbara, can I use your camera?
Це майданчик, на якому збираються ключові політичні гравці всього світу, і безпекова конференція. На сьогоднішній день слово «безпека» має ключову вирішальну роль не тільки в Україні, взагалі у всьому світі. І говорилось про безпеку. І першою темою на конференції також є Україна, тому що ніколи так світ не був близьок до такого протистояння після Другої світової війни, як зараз. Ми знаємо, наскільки напружена, всі наші партнери України, партнери, всі в світі знають, наскільки напружена ситуація зараз знаходиться на кордоні України з Росією, що понад 150 тисяч російських солдатів зараз знаходиться, проходять навчання, і вірогідність порушення територіальної цілісності України достатньо висока. Тому використовував будь-які можливості і зустрічі із німецькими друзями, з представниками НАТО, з американськими конгресами і сенаторами. І всі ці зустрічі, всі ці майданчики, я завжди говорю один і той же самий меседж. Україна – це мирна країна, це мирне населення. Ми нікому не погрожуємо, ми ні на кого не нападаємо. Але якщо потрібно буде, ми будемо оборонятись. У нас іншого шляху нема. Але ми розраховуємо на підтримку інших країн, які є друзями України і які підтримують наш рух до демократичної, сучасної України. Сучасна держава, яка стане частиною європейської родини. Це країна, наша рідна Україна. Використовую всі майданчики, і відгук є, всі розуміють ситуацію і вже декларують свою допомогу і конкретні кроки.
Sin jeg har min lille bunch.
Зеленый, значит.
Мы уже запишем. Да, что делать? Скажем. Давай пойдем. Иди лети.
Ich spreche über Krim, Donetsk, Lugansk. Und denke ich mal wieder, oder russische империя, oder ehemalige Sowjetunion.
Ну, я здесь представляю белорусский народ, которые уже более 1,5 лет борются за свободные, честные выборы, за то, чтобы освободили политзаключенных и дали людям право самим выбирать свое будущее. И, конечно, сейчас, когда из-за слабости режима они готовы сдавать нашу родину в аренду третьим странам, чтобы угрожать Украине, это неприемлемо. Белорусы не хотят быть втянутыми ни в какие военные конфликты, тем более против наших соседей украинцев.
Actually, our time is up, but we have the mayor of Kiev here, and I would ask you to please have one more minute of patience for him to ask a short question and then short answers, and then we have to wrap up. Klitschko.
Good afternoon, State Secretary, Minister, dear friends, Mayor of Kiev, Mayor of capital of Ukraine. First of all, I want to say thank you very much for all friends who support Ukraine in this very difficult situation. We understand without your support we can't survive. It's very important right now. We understand that Germany, United States, all friends support, but we need right now defensive weapon. Thank you for Germany. Germany invested in the last couple of years billions to rebuild infrastructure, to make reform in Ukraine. But right now, in this critical situation, we stay front to the one of the strongest army in the world. And every aggressor who just think to attack Ukraine have to understand they have to pay painful price. We're ready to fight. We're ready to defend our families, our states, our cities, our citizens. We need support. Thank you for 5,000 helms, but not enough. We can't defend our country. What just with that? And also, very important point, come back to 1996 Budapest Agreement. Ukraine in 1996 was the third country in the world with largest nuclear weapons. We give up our nuclear weapons with a guarantee. United States, French, Great Britain, and Russia make a guarantee of our independence and territorial integrity. It's not so much time in the past. Right now, what about the Budapest Agreement? Everybody forget about it. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Mayor, first of all, it's good to see you, and I appreciate not only the the substance of your words, but also the emotion behind them. And here's what I can tell you, just speaking on behalf of the United States. When it comes to security assistance, as you know, in the last year alone, we provided about $650 million in defensive lethal assistance, more in the last year than in any previous year. We continue to provide that assistance. I personally authorized some of our partner countries who had American-made equipment to transfer that to Ukraine, Baltic countries, and we're continuing to do everything that we can with other partners to help you provide for your defense. At the same time, I'm convinced that the work that we are doing together to bring countries, not just in Europe, but beyond Europe, together and making very clear to Russia that if it commits renewed aggression against Ukraine, there will be, as we've said, and I quote, massive consequences. This is what the G7 countries said together. The European Union, NATO, the power of that deterrent and our solidarity, I remain hopeful will have an impact. But the other thing that I think is so important, and it's why more and more countries beyond Europe and beyond the United States are focused on this now, and I heard this at the Security Council yesterday, is I think there's a growing recognition that what is happening in Ukraine matters first and foremost to Ukrainians, but should matter to everyone in the world. Because what's at stake, first, yes, are the lives and well-being of Ukrainians, but what's at stake are larger principles that are at the foundation of the entire international order, an order established after 2 world wars and a Cold War, with some basic principles that are necessary to maintain peace and security. And those principles are being challenged right now by Russia in Ukraine. Principles like you can't change the borders of another country by force. Principles like you can't dictate to another country its choices, its decisions, its policies, including with whom it will associate. Principles like you cannot exert a sphere of influence to subjugate neighbors to your will. In different ways, complementary ways, but I believe powerful ways, countries are standing up for Ukraine and for the principles that are at stake. So we will continue to do everything we can for you, with you, and with our partners.
Also from my side, thank you for not only the question, but showing again how dear the situation is, because if you're thinking about every citizen in your country, it's something different, being a mayor in Kiev and being a foreign minister in Germany in this kind of situation. We've been in contact very closely, personally, but also with your government, and as I've said before, for us, it's not an easy decision, but if we are endangering by taking these steps, that Normandy would not work anymore. This would be, in my point of view, also a big security threat for every citizen in Ukraine, because especially the situation around the contact line in the separatist areas, for every citizen there, you know it better than I do, it's very crucial that we are coming back at the table to talk about Minsk. But we are looking at every request because we are standing side by side with you and your citizens. That's why when you asked for helmets, we were looking, my colleague here, we were looking how many helmets we could deliver. I'm sorry, it was only 5,000. We have now a new list, we look at the new list, what we have, what we can do, and I think it's really good that we are in frank and open exchange about these kind of things all together. But again, I mean, this is also what rightly your government is saying in those days. We have to ensure that the destabilization doesn't come from inside, from investments which are not coming anymore, from currency which is going down, and that's why I truly believe that the financial support is as important as the support with regard to security.
Thank you.